Hey everyone, it's Fun Around. My name is Jordan, and welcome to Thursday's NBA slate. It's just three games, and there are not any lines out right now. So it's gonna be one of those videos where plays will all be in the pinned comment. I will go through the games, just some matchups to take a look at when you're looking at lines, because I'll be looking at lines more in the morning before I put them in the pinned comment. And I bet it was a little weird seeing Guy Boston Sports Ev just pop up on my channel. I realized just how much more smoothly he talks than I do. Like, he had zero cuts, and he has that for most of his videos, like zero cuts. And he can talk for like 30 minutes, and I'm sitting here saying, like, I like points plus persist, and then I cut back, and then there's just all these types of cuts, and yeah, he's just such a better speaker on the microphone than I am, much more smoothly. But there won't be any images from Outlier. But if you do want to check out a data app that gives you all the history and stuff like that for the lines as they come out and the players and all that. Definitely check out Outlier. There's a link in the description for a 7-day free trial. You'll normally see my videos pop up, but I don't have any images as of right now. I'm filming like near halftime of most of the games. So yes, I've seen like Mikal Bridges has scored 3 points, and I probably won't be picking him again this season unless there's some injuries to make that happen. Because yeah, it's the first time I took him this year. Very disappointing on that one. But I want to get into these three games. We have some hope here for some good lines. We have the back-to-backs. The Bulls will be at home on a back-to-back against the fresh Timberwolves. Could be blowout there, blowout potential, especially if Zach LaVine is out. And then the Spurs will be on a back-to-back at home against the fresh Trailblazers. So that could potentially be a pretty good game. And then we have the Jazz and the Bucks, who will both be fresh. Some pretty good numbers there that I'm going to go into. But the reason why there aren't any lines out for the Jazz and the Bucks, well, there's actually are lines out. So there's two players, game time decisions, who are very important, and it's Giannis for the Bucks and Lauri Markkanen for the Jazz. So when you have a player that important, they just put out the lines for that player as if they're playing, and they won't put out anyone else. And as soon as they find out if they're playing or not, they'll either leave up those lines and bring everyone else in, or they take those lines away and then they readjust all the other lines. So since those players are really big for their teams and make a big impact on everyone else, they're just sitting there with just two different players until they get more information on them. So let's talk about this Bulls and this Timberwolves game. So the Bulls are playing at the fastest pace in the NBA, which is good. So the faster pace, you get more shots up. There's more rebounds to go around. There's more assists to go around. There's more turnovers to go around. It's just a lot of overs start to get better. Lines do get bumped up a little bit more with the pace. The T-Wolves, they play at the 8th slowest pace. So it's going to be a battle of styles here. One's going to be trying to play fast. Timberwolves are going to be trying to slow it down, or the Timberwolves may just give in to the pace and just play fast too. Sometimes teams do that and they say, you know what, we like this. We're going to play this too. And then that would favor someone like Anthony Edwards, who's going to take a high volume of shots, and he's going to get a lot more shots than he normally would going up against a team that's going to get their shots off early in a shot clock, and he's going to have more opportunities. So Anthony Edwards really has a great matchup here for points. And then the Timberwolves, I looked around to see what position they would be a good matchup for. And they're actually giving up the fourth most points to the small forward position, where they have Zach LaVine listed at for the Bulls, who is injured. If he is good to go and they're keeping him for the second game of the back-to-back, he would be fresh and he wouldn't, have that back-to-back fatigue. So that could be something to look into if his line's normally around, that 20 range, 19 and a half, 20 and a half. That could be a good one to look at. But overall, this one it does scare me a little bit. Like with Anthony Edwards, his line's going to be pretty high, 26, 27, 28 points. he could definitely hit it if the game remains close. If it starts to become a blowout and he doesn't play in that fourth quarter, then obviously he's not going to hit. So, yeah, just this is probably going to be one to be cautious with. We're going to just keep an eye on the injury statuses for both teams. But if the Bulls keep it close, yeah, we could be looking at some good overs. If not, we could be looking at some unders, especially for some Bulls players. Plays will be in the pinned comment. I'm going to keep mentioning that because I know people skip around. But if you could, please subscribe to the channel. And if you haven't, please just leave a like. And if you have a little bit of extra time, just leave a comment for the algorithm. You just put a number there, like the number 1, and it helps get this video out there for more people to see. And also, if you'd like to get away from Prizepicks, try out something with different options, more options, different payouts, try out Underdog Fantasy Sleeper, ParlayPlay, ChalkBoard, and a new app to the Final Round 11 family is BETR, who gives a deposit match up to $200, and they also will do a 1000x multiplier play. So giving out big money there potentially with BETR. The other apps will do a match up to $100. Links are in the description. That'll take you straight there with the promo code. Thank you to anyone who uses those. So next is the Spurs and the Blazers, and I kind of like this, Spurs being on a back-to-back. What I saw before I started filming was they were getting blown out by the Rockets. So if they do, just kind of give up and say, all right, well, let's go play the next one. We got a game tomorrow. Both of these teams could be fine. And taking a look at some of the matchups, what do teams give up the most to or most of? And the Blazers give up the 6th most assists. So we could be looking at a Chris Paul line or, Castle line, or even Wemby sometimes can get a lot of assists. And then the Spurs, for what they give up, we're kind of in the middle, which is not consistent with what they were doing last year. They were actually pretty bad last year, so they're getting better. And I checked, they're actually playing at the 5th slowest pace, so they're slowing things down a lot this season. So with them on a back-to-back and the Blazers playing, this could be a close game, and the Blazers do have some really good scorers. And then this last game, the Jazz and the Bucks, both teams will be fresh. Obviously, they might be missing some of their best players if they're both ruled out. The Jazz play at the 5th fastest pace and the Bucks the 8th fastest pace. So these are the games that we love. It's just when you have two really fast-paced teams, if one of them starts making a bunch of shots and the other one, if there's a big run, it can turn into a blowout quickly, and then everything's just like done unless you had some nice unders, which you don't want to take an under in something like this where everything's so fast, unless the line is just prod out just so high that you're just like, okay, I'm going to take the under on this. So Utah, they're giving up the 4th most points, 5th most rebounds, and the most assists. So all around the board. So when you think of someone like Giannis who can fill up every stat category, I imagine his lines, they're out right now. I actually didn't dig too deep in them, but I imagine they're huge. And then we have the Bucks, who give up the 8th most points, 6th most 3-pointers made. So yeah, a lot of stuff to go around here. Bucks have struggled against point guard position a lot. But once again, this is just a quick overview of these games. If we had like a month's worth of data, I would start putting up players' names and then giving their matchups, but I'm just kind of giving an overview right now, and not diving too deep into it. But we'll get there eventually. So check the pinned comment, and I don't have a recap because I usually recap 2 days before because I film the day of. Like I mentioned before, I think Mikal Bridges is probably going to go under points. So that one's probably going to miss. But everyone else is kind of up for grabs right now. So we will see how those go. So I'm going to get this edited and get it out to you. And if you're still watching, remember, check out Ev, guy at More Guy Boston Sports, because his channel got suspended for about a week. So hopefully he gets that back up and running, gets everything figured out, and he doesn't have to continue with that second channel. But yeah, I'm sure he'll keep you updated on it. So God bless you all. It's Final Round. My name is Jordan. I will catch you on the next one. Bye.